Mr. Jackson? Mr. Little? Mr. Fleming?
Present.
Ms. Lusko? Here. Mr. Burhans? Here. Mr. Simpson? Mayor Bonta? Attorney Dogan?
Okay, approval of the minutes. Now, we do have 3 to approve. There were the 2 in April that were not prepped for our prior meeting, and then May 8th. So we will need to approve April 10th first.
I'll second.
Okay, we have first, second, open for discussion. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? April 10th minutes pass. Let's move on to April 17th. We will need a motion on those minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the April 17th minutes.
I have a question on it. I think that's the one. That's the one where we talked about the electric shock on the fishing pier. Yeah, I don't see it in the minutes.
The April 17th meeting was the special meeting for. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it would not be this set of minutes.
Disregard.
Did we get a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have first, second. Any further discussion? All in favor of passing April 17th minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that set passes. We'll move on to May 8th. That is our last meeting. We need a motion on that set of minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the May 8th minutes.
I believe that's the one where we talked about the electric shock on the fishing pier, and I didn't see it in the minutes.
Okay, let's make the second motion
It's
first.
definitely in the minutes.
Okay, I'll second it.
Okay, we got second now. We can open it up. Any further discussion on this now?
Just an electric shock. I didn't see it in the minutes.
Virginia stated it's there, so let's search for.
It's in the fishing station. It's, the page says fishing station.
Okay.
That was discussed under that.
Okay, good. That is
Disregard.
confirmed. That is in the minutes. So any other discussion, and we're specifically speaking of the May 8th minutes.
I'll second.
Okay. We got our first and second. Any further discussion on the May 8th minutes? All in favor of passing, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, all minutes pass. Move on to treasurer's report. Ron?
Marina operating funds as of May 31st, 2025, $195,046.72. Operating funds for Port Authority as of May 31st, 2025, $117,817.91.
Okay, all right, funds are as noted. Need a motion to pass those.
I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report. Marina funds being 195,046.72, Port Authority being 117,817.91.
Okay, we need a second.
I'll second.
Any further discussion on the treasurer's report? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Treasurer's report passes. Move on to claims. We have claims for the Port Authority and Marina facility. So we will start with the Port Authority.
I'll make a motion to approve the Port Authority claims of $618.75.
Second.
Okay, any open discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, that claims of Port Authority passes. Let's move on to the Marina facility.
I'll make a motion to approve the Marina claims in the amount of $26,115.74.
I'll second.
Okay, open discussion? All in favor of passing Marina facility claims, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, that set of claims also passes.
Jeff, I did find a discrepancy on the claims. I probably should bring it up. For NIPSCO, the Marina, it shows $23,367.44, and I think that might be a typo. Okay.
Okay, on the one report, Barb, I do see that appears clearly to be a typo. On the detail, it appears to be $2,237.90. Okay.
The total
Confirming
being-
the total being correct.
The total being $2367.44. That's our gas and our electric.
We got clarification on that. Numbers are correct as totaled. All right, let's move on to committee reports. Mr. Dogan.
Yes, for legal, I can either report to you now about this subject of the metal object in the water, or we can wait till old business, but I do have quite a bit to tell you about that subject.
I'm going to say take it up now.
Okay.
You got that as a
So,
important issue.
so here's what I've learned and haven't learned. Trying to get to the quick of it, and gee, let's get somebody to remove it. I'm trying to do research on, who may have caused this. And here's one thing that I have learned. It's, you call here and you call there, and then you go to the INDOT website and you start running searches on who may have caused this and when. And gee, we go back to projects as far back as 2001, which is probably the culprit. The problem being that you get 2,000 hits when you run a search on 249, bridge repair, Burns Waterway, and things like that. And I've done all kinds of permutations of these, and still I'm wading through 2,000 hits. Which one, which project manager might have been involved? Is it, I hate to use names, but is it Reith Riley? It probably is, or is it not? And and then talking to our safety officer, Dave Burns, today about this, this kind of arose recently, and so this may have been, you remember the immovable object we had years ago, that big hunk of concrete? Well, that kind of just disappeared. We don't know if someone removed it or did it just sink down. Well, this may be something that was left and shouldn't have been many, many, many years ago. By whom, we're not sure, we don't know, and then it rose up from the depths. And so I have a feeling I'm going to run into wasn't us, prove it was us, and that kind of issue, or our bond ran, we don't have responsibility anymore because it's been 25 years. So let me go to the next part of this issue, because I did much more research on, do we have responsibility? And yes, we do. Local port authorities and marina operators have a responsibility to mark known hazards to navigation under both federal and state law. And so I can start rattling off statutes, which I know you don't want to hear, but we do. And so here's what we need to do now, temporarily at least. I've drafted letters to the Indiana DNR and to the United States Coast Guard. Why? We have to request permission to place markings on it to the Indiana DNR, and then we have to notify the Coast Guard so they can put out a local notice to mariners, assuming that this is federal navigable waters, and I think it is, like it or not. And then we have to also notify Army Corps of Engineers, assuming it's under their jurisdiction, and I think it is. And so, oh boy, these are things we need to do. How do we need to mark it? Orange and white hazard buoy with a diamond on it, like we've all seen. And usually then you say what it is, danger, metal object or something like that. Or you may put a piling in the water with a reflective sign, danger submerged object. Might be cheaper, better, easier. If you want a suggestion on who we'd call, well, Dave Zach does the swimming buoys, and I think Kurt Miller's done them before, so that might be a source for getting something up there quickly. And I think that no one would ever fault us for marking this before we got permission, from anyone. But I think we do have an obligation. And one thing I would ask is maybe I could ask Danny to get me the best as possible GPS coordinates, because that has to go in this letter, and describe the hazard and a depth of the water, about. But close as you can, maybe, if you could get those to me, because that has to go in this letter. And so ask questions if you have them, but that's what I know.
And I know this was still used as of like 6 to 7 years ago, because it was halfway there. But it used to be an old landing, just completely concrete. And me and Kurt Westerman actually saw it fall in. It was probably within the last.
Yeah, I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing you, Danny. Yeah, go ahead, but go ahead.
Yeah, me and Kurt, we actually saw that fall in. It probably was at least 10 years, but it used to be halfway usable, and there was concrete that basically, the wall bowed out and then fell in, and I think now since our water level's so low, then now we're seeing it so much. But, I mean, I probably could get you pictures of when it was complete, but I know when that first happened, we actually put up those barricades because it turned into city property.
Would that make you suspect this 2001 bridge project, or no? Is that too long ago?
I-
That was 25 years, 24 years ago.
No, because it was after I was working at the marina, and I've been there 14, give or take.
Do you remember, do you have any idea what company may have
No,
caused
but
this?
I personally don't think it is a bridge project issue. It was just one of the flooded, because I know one of the times it'll take some digging, but we actually have a picture or video of when that fell. So,
Well, that being said, then maybe we ought to just look into marking it. And maybe, perhaps, the Army Corps of Engineers would pay to get it removed, or the DNR, or someone. But I think now we ought to look into this marking idea.
All right, Dave, thoughts on getting this marked?
Well, as you stated, a reflective sign posted on the east and west side of it, or, I mean, yeah, or if you posted it right in front of it, it might, well, you'd have to see it coming and going, so it'd have to have two signs. So it has to be labeled with metal or concrete. It has to be worded as such, correct?
I'll do a little more research into that. I know it needs to be, or piling with reflective sign, danger submerged object, I think is sufficient. That's if it's a piling. If it's a buoy, it has to have this orange diamond, white buoy, orange diamond, and then it has to say metal or rock, if it's a rock, interestingly.
All right, do we have a source for the signage, or can we get that done?
we could get, I know when we got the ditch buoys, they had the options for them.
Yeah, we definitely have a source for signage. I'll just need to know, kind of like size that we want to go with, how big.
And I would do the same vertical, not that round base, because the current, it takes them sideways and they sink.
And then, not to make this even more complicated and difficult, sometimes the Coast Guard requires them to be lighted, sometimes they don't. And so, we may have to have an orange flashing beacon on it, we may not, depending on what they advise us, or the DNR.
Okay. Well, if you guys proceed to source the signage, get that put on, and then, of course, Tom, if you'd continue to give us insight on our next steps.
Sure, and with your permission, I'll go ahead and get those letters out once I get the information from Danny.
All right, please do. Okay, any other legal matters?
No, sir, that's
Discussion?
it.
Barb, Marina Facility?
I'll go ahead and read my report. Currently, we have 17 open slips as of 6/5/25. That's a reduction of 4 from last month's report, 11 open on A through D, which are the 25-foot docks, and 6 open on I through J, those are 35-foot docks. We're going to start prorating July 4th, and slips will basically be half price, as half the boating season will nearly be over. K-Dock repairs are completed, and a claim has been filed with Samuelson Insurance. We will be reimbursed $18,000, which is the total less our deductible. May 23rd, I received confirmation from the DNR that out of 17 invoices that I've submitted, all 17 are approved, and our reimbursement will be $258,209 and $25.54. I don't know what that is, doggone it. I'll have to fix that. It's either 25 cents or 24 cents. It has to go to some place called AOS, which is with the DNR and NOAA, and once it's finally approved, a check will be issued. So we're staffed for the season with 5 seasonal part-time employees on board. June 5th, we contacted Circle R to check the south bathhouse for sewage backing up in all of the drains. It took the technician quite a few hours to clean the massive plug. It's the same issue the city has with wipes being tossed in the toilets. Those wipes do not degrade, so I put signs in all the restrooms stating, Flushable wipes are not flushable, they do not degrade, please dispose of in garbage receptacle. Allen Landscaping has been mowing once per week and will continue on a weekly basis until the grass stops growing. We're selling Valpo Velvet ice cream in the Marina office. It's available by the pint or bar in assorted flavors. And we are also well-stocked with the usual items that we sell every season, that being flares, waterproof first aid kits, various suntan lotions, marine toilet treatment, marine oils, boat wash, dock power cords, dock line, and cheap sunglasses a la ZZ Top. We will be stocked with snacks, water, and sodas also. We are continuing with the Boat US Life Jacket Loaner Program for kids. You simply sign out for a jacket and return when you're done with it. This program is at no cost to the marina, and it serves the public. It's been very successful. The program has been very successful at the marina. FDOC safety ladder has been replaced by maintenance. The sun canopies are in line to be installed. I had to explain to people that they're delayed because of rain and the colder weather. You need a warm day where the canopy can lay out for several hours in the sun so the fabric can be stretched over the structure, and right now they are installed. Collections have been slow as far as slip owners. I'm in the process of calling and recalling past dues. The weather has been iffy, and it shows in the daily launches when compared with May of 2024. And you can just look at the stats down there. I don't feel like I need to read them, but it has been, quite a bit slower. And it's the end of my report. Any questions?
Questions, comments? Okay, thanks, Barb.
You're welcome.
Dave, anything further on safety?
Nothing else to report at this time. Everything seems to be calm and the water's coming back up slowly.
What's the temperature?
Cold.
64.
Is it 64? Yeah. I heard 86 degrees next week, so I hope so. All right, planning and development. Now, Matt, you're here tonight. Anything to report?
I've got nothing to report. I see there's two invoices are under new business, so if you want, I can talk to them, bring up to date with what's happening during that point.
If you would, and come to a mic, please.
Oh, you want to do that now?
Yeah, let's do that.
Go to new business? Okay. Yep, so you got a couple of things on the agenda. The public fishing pier, we do have the final invoice. The DNR requested all the invoices so that they could reimburse and close that completely out. So I did request that and sent that to Barb. I think your update said they're reimbursing for everything that had been submitted, so that's good. I don't know if you have any questions about the fishing pier.
No, it remains closed until the pipe is going in, I think July, you stated?
So, update today from Commonwealth stating that the pipe won't be put in until November. We can't wait that long. We have to get this in, done, and closed up per our grant. We can ask for an extension from DNR, but I want to find out from Commonwealth what else they can do. Can they move their pipe somewhere else so that it's not in the middle of our parking lot?
Matt, what changed from the original estimate of June to November? We
Don't
don't
know.
know.
I got the email today at 3 o'clock.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. All right, well, keep us informed on that. Until then, we'll remain closed on that fishing pier.
And the fish cleaning station, construction's ongoing, albeit slow. They were pushing to try to get the parking lot in at our request, but when the sanitary pipe issue came in, and the board may not know all this, we were contacted by the Portage Utilities, who is putting in a large diameter force main, which comes from the lift station that's just to the south of the fish cleaning station.
currently that, right now, that runs to the south, it goes under the bridge, and then ends up working its way gravity into the wastewater treatment plant. They want to replace that pipe. So they have designed a new pipe, the interceptor, and there's a big placard out there that shows that, you know, the money that I think the city got for it. But they're putting in a 10-inch force main from that lift station and heading it due west, down Prairie Street, underneath the waterway, over to the other side that now the city owns and is looking at doing some development over on the west side of the waterway. And of course, their bore pit to do the boring is smack dab in the center of where our parking lot was going. So they asked if we could hold off so they could look at getting an escalation to get this bore done sooner, and it was gonna happen in July. So we asked Hassie to hold off on doing it and to start focus back on the fish cleaning station construction. And like I said, today at 3 o'clock, I got an email stating that it didn't look like that bore was gonna be able to happen until November, which our grant needs to be done and closed before that, yes. So more to come on that, but construction is ongoing on the fish cleaning station. If you've been by, the foundation's been poured, a lot of the utilities are done at this point. They're gonna be setting the bottom of the structure, the floor of it, pouring that, and then starting to erect steel.
Thank you for that update.
So with that, I think, and you're, I don't know how you do it, but you've got the final invoice for Trail Source. So I believe that needs to be voted to pay since it wasn't included in the financials, or the claims, sorry. I don't believe it was included in the financials. Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the final invoice from Trail Source for $1,480.
I'd second.
Okay, discussion on final invoice for Trail Source? All right, all in favor of passing that invoice, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, that passes, and that takes care of such.
And the second item on there is from the fish cleaning station. This is pay app number 2. So this is a progress billing. So Hassie only gets paid for the amount of material that they have installed up to the date of their invoice. Since we're on a monthly billing with the way that your meetings fall, we've asked them, this would be pretty much all the work that they did from May 1st to May 31st. So that should be the pay app request that's in front of you.
I'll make a motion to approve the Hassie invoice in the amount of $88,441.91.
I second.
Okay, open discussion? All right, all in favor of passing the Hassie invoice, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, that invoice passes also. All right,
all I
anything
have.
else, Matt?
That's all I have.
All right, thank you for the update.
Thank you.
All right, so let's move on to old business. Anything under old business?
This might be on our old business, the fishing pier. I know we got it blocked off, but you still got people going down there fishing. Now they're starting to park in Marquette parking area. And plus, we're getting a lot of people coming through to our parking lot speeding. Our recommendation for us is to put up signs, private property, and put speed bumps in the parking lot. If that doesn't work, we might end up putting railroad ties down along the roadway so they can't park into our area. There is some area there they could park up on the grass, but it needs to be cut. That's up to, I guess, us if we want to have them still go down there and fish, because they're going down there and fishing. I mean, you could block it off all you want, but it could still go down there, so.
I don't know how to keep them out of there, I really don't.
It's the same like 6 people and all of them have respect for you and me and everybody else. And they know not to park on your side, they know not to do anything when there's equipment there.
Well, I understand, that these are fishermen. They're coming there, and they're parking all different ways, and parking where our boats are at, where they park at, and they're just getting kind of hectic, so
Okay.
we're gonna put up signs to start with. If that doesn't work, then we'll probably put up railroad ties, so I'm just letting you know that we just, too many
Okay.
people coming in there now, so.
Okay, is it prohibiting your entrance from being used?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, Tom.
And you're stating that there is an area that is currently uncut. Is that your property? Our
Yeah,
property?
That's the Port Authority, or Marina property, city property.
Marquette members only, non-members will be towed.
Okay.
Okay,
That might scare them, and especially if you did it once or twice.
Especially the tow part.
I believe the Isaac Walton would have had that problem. They have signage up also because they're actually closer to the pier, you know, and I've witnessed people with full boats turning around in there and trying to park to check things out. But it's, as a business owner, you wouldn't believe how many turnarounds I have because people missed a car wash.
And I know we're back to signage on the parking. This goes for you, but our Marquette area that we had issues when we took down the signs for the parking, all your people are using our gate and sidewalk again. Thanks. Fishermen aren't the only problem. Hate to tell you.
okay. Yeah, that's an old prior issue. I would say, buddy, proceed with putting your signage up, and hopefully that'll minimize or contain those that currently choose to. We've put our markings up, and currently it is technically closed, but you heard tonight, it's gonna continue to be such until we can finalize the parking area.
I just wonder if maybe we should put like a 10-foot fence around the whole project, so nobody can get into it. Of course, that'll cost money.
In my experience, fishermen will walk around your 10-foot fence.
I probably will. Okay, well, all taken in, and let's proceed forth with the signage, and hopefully we'll wrap this up in the next few months. Any other old business? Any other new business? We had 2 items, they have been addressed. Any other new business? Okay, with that then, ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
We got the first and second, meeting adjourned. Everybody have a good night, and voting season is coming.